Hi there, and welcome back to Educator.com AP World History. We're in period 6, which is 1900 to the present. And in this session, we're going to look at demographic shifts. Now, demographics is numbers associated with people, such as population, births, deaths, concentrations, movements, right? And these things occur because of innovations. So we're going to look at some innovations, disease, and modern warfare. All right. So our key concept here is that diseases, scientific innovations, and armed conflicts led to significant demographic shifts. First of all, when we look at this disease, we see that diseases of the poor don't go away. There are diseases that do go away for the more affluent people, but for the poor, these diseases continue to haunt them. And among them that you should know about are cholera, TB, and malaria for sure, and know something about one of those. Take malaria, for instance. It's carried by mosquitoes, and it affects a great number of people in tropic areas, especially the poor. And it's a debilitating disease. It's you get terrible fevers, and really puts you out, and then you recover, and then it happens again, and then later on in your life it comes back. It's a terrible disease that really limits the abilities of people that get it, and it's probably the most prevalent disease doing that in the world today. Hepatitis. I'll tell you a little story about hepatitis. Some people that I know, because they work in the group of churches that I'm associated with, they've decided to be a part of helping people get clean water to drink. And they're working in Peru. And their system is not digging a well, but it's using the equipment and things that are available in country. They make a water purification for a group of people that, in a small town or that kind of thing. The water is already there. They have a water supply, but it's contaminated. And they purify teach people how to purify the water and maintain that system. And one of the problems that they had was that people said, what do we need it for? We're doing just fine. And then something happened in this town. The mayor and a bunch of other officials went out to view a project, and they were all in an SUV, and they were driving on this road that was next to a steep cliff, and the driver lost control and it went over the cliff. And everybody in the car was killed except one lady. And she was brought back to the city and put in the hospital. And she was losing blood, and she needed a blood transplant in order to save her life. And people were so concerned about this. This was a major thing for them, that the people lined up around the block of the hospital in order to give blood to this woman and save her life. But not one of those hundreds of people didn't have hepatitis in their blood. Not even one. And the lady died because under the rules of blood donations, they can't accept blood that has hepatitis. Then the people realized, hey, we really do need this water purification, and we're happy to get involved with it. So this is affecting their lives and making their lives less good, but because of their poverty and because of the system in which they're growing up in, they don't realize that everybody isn't like that. And HIV/AIDS, as you know, started out among people with the ability to pay for a remedy, and with a great deal of work that was accomplished so that it's not a huge epidemic problem in the more affluent countries, but in less affluent places, it's a terrible scourge. And schistosomiasis is a parasital worm. 200 million people are affected by it, and they're all poor people. It's an eliminated one, and there's other intestinal parasites. The hookworm, 600 million people affected by hookworm, all of which is preventable and treatable. But you see, because these people are poor, it isn't happening. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is one of those, and also Jimmy Carter's center are putting money into trying to deal with these kinds of preventable diseases of the poor.